Good morning, and welcome to the Universalist Church in which love is the spirit. We're glad you're here, whether you're here in the sanctuary with us or anywhere in the world on our live stream. I'm Joe Wilson, one of your representatives on the Board of Trustees. If you're a visitor, we hope you'll sign one of our guest books at either entrance to the sanctuary or visit our webpage, that's westhartforduu.org, to learn more about us. There you can use the contact page to get onto our electronic mailing list, which is the best way for us to all stay connected. We look forward to helping you become part of our congregation. Today we'll have fellowship in Fisk Hall and through Zoom. If you need help finding your way to Fisk Hall, just follow any member of the church. We'll all be glad to help you. We'll either be wearing a name tag or we won't, but we're all going to be heading for coffee, so you know what to do. Just follow along. You can find the link for Zoom Fellowship in your weekly news. If you aren't getting the weekly news, please do sign up for it on our website. And now, I invite you to take a moment to make your mobile phone silent, turn off your email, put away those keyboards, and settle in for worship.
Good morning. So if you have a home chalice, please light it as we light ours here in the sanctuary. Without silence, we can't hear the strike of a match. Without space, the flame will never flare. And without rest, our hearts won't know how to lift. But with intention, we gather as one community, whole and holy. Thank you. Our opening hymn is number 94, What is This Life, in the gray hymnal. Please, I invite you to rise in body and spirit in all the ways that we do, whether you're here in the sanctuary or wherever you might be as we sing together. as long as sheep or cows. No time to see when woods we pass, where squirrels hide their nuts in grass. No time to see in broad daylight streams full of stars, like stars at night. No time to turn at beauty's glance and watch her feet, how they can dance. A poor life this, if full of care. We have no time to stand and stare. Please join me in speaking the words of our affirmation, our covenant, as printed in the order of service and in the description online. Together, let us say, love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Please be seated.
Good morning. I'd like to share a story today called Making Room for Reston. Once upon a time, there was a musical rest named Reston. Reston wasn't like all the other students at the music school. He wasn't loud and assertive like the trumpet's notes, or expressive like the oboe passages, or insistent like the djembe rhythms. Reston liked to be quiet and make space for whatever might happen. Unfortunately, though, he rarely had the chance to do so because it was always so dang loud. It seemed like the saxophones were always gossiping with each other, and the bassoons bounced ideas around all the time, and the flutes had something to say about pretty much everything. Other than Reston's best friend, the bass clarinet, who wasn't very talkative. All of the other students just chattered on and on. One day at lunch, Reston was trying to tell the cafeteria staff what he wanted to eat, but they couldn't hear his quiet voice. Suddenly, Reston had had enough. "That's it!" he shouted. Everyone stopped. Reston felt like he could breathe for the first time in ages. All of you are always talking, but never listening, never leaving room. Just once, I'd like to be able to hear myself think. It seemed like the pause went on for ages. Then, out of the silence, there came true conversation. The oud and the reek, the cello and the viola, the congas and the clave, all of them were interested in what Reston had to say, or rather, what he didn't say. In that moment, they all understood that the rests were as important as the notes. A famous orchestra conductor named Leopold Stokowski once said, "A painter paints pictures on canvas, but musicians paint their pictures on silence." The voluntary offering, the sharing of our resources for our shared work as a religious community, is a spiritual practice for us. By offering your time, talent, and treasure to this community, you help us serve the members, friends, and wider community of this congregation. As part of that service, we share our general offering each week with organizations that do work in the world that brings us ever closer to creating the beloved community. This month, we have been sharing the collection with the Connecticut Council for Interreligious Understanding, CCIU. The website for this organization can be found in your order of service or in the live stream notes. The Connecticut Council for Interreligious Understanding works to advance the goals of interreligious understanding, respect, and religious pluralism in the greater Hartford area. As people of faith, we believe we should learn about each other's religion in an honest, open, and respectful atmosphere. To give electronically, please use the QR codes in your order of service, the links in the description, or those on our website to make your donation to our offering. Here in the sanctuary, our offering will now be greatly received. May these gifts sustain the work we do together, the life of this community, and the goodness of the wider world of which we are a part.
I invite you to rise once again in body and spirit as we speak our congregational reading, number 435. We come together this morning in the gray hymnal. We will speak all of the words together. We come together this morning to remind one another, to rest for a moment on the forming edge of our lives, to resist the headlong tumble into the next moment, until we claim for ourselves awareness and gratitude, taking the time to look into one another's faces and see there communion, the reflection of our own eyes. This house of laughter and silence, memory and hope, is hallowed by our presence together. Let's join in singing our doxology. It's in your order of service and the description online. Praise God for love we all may share. Praise God for beauty everywhere. Praise God for hope of good to be. Praise God for truth that makes us free. Amen. Please be seated. I invite you into the spirit of meditation, prayer, or contemplation of ultimate things. We lost another member of our community in the last week. David Wadstrup died during the night on Saturday, July 25th. David requested that his ashes be scattered at sea. Thus, those arrangements will be handled by his family. Please hold Donna, his wife, and his 2 sons and their families in your thoughts and prayers. Today, we also send care to all those struggling with their mental health and the loved ones trying to support them. Between the stigma around mental health challenges and the lack of resources to meet those needs, our society too often increases their suffering. May they find healing and peace. Today, we also add our voices to the chorus of gratitude for the skill, tenacity, and bravery of Ryder Williams, a 16-year-old rookie lifeguard in Santa Cruz, California. Last weekend, Ryder saved 10-year-old Nathaniel Rye, who'd been swept into the ocean after being knocked down by a wave. We wish Nathaniel a smooth recovery from his traumatic experience and send all lifeguards our hope that they remain safe as they tend to the well-being of others. Spirit of compassion, we remember those whose lives have been upended by grief, devastated by fires and floods, and cut short by war. May they be surrounded by healing and peace. Spirit of justice, we say the names Renee Good, Alex Preddy, Lorenzo Salgado Araujo, and Juan Sebastian Duran Guerrero, just 4 of the people who have died at the hands of ICE agents in 2026. May their loved ones find consolation, and may the people of this country find ways to end such atrocities. Spirit of liberation, we dream of a better way to move forward, in which manufactured suffering ends and each person's dignity and joy are valued. May we hold this vision before us and within us to spur us on. In spirit of hope, we remind ourselves that the next chapter of history has not yet been written. May we continue acting on behalf of compassion, justice, and liberation in all that we do. Amen, and blessed be. Please join me now in singing Spirit of Life, for which you may remain seated. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of the
Our reading today is an excerpt from Rest is Resistance by Tricia Hersey. A valuable question is, how can we afford to rest when the colonizing empire we live within daily continues to rage and grow stronger? The empire continues to morph, plan, and strategize to maintain power. We believe that we can heal and reimagine new ways of living by recreating the evil and abuse taught to us. Yes, the system continues raging and destroying, but we will not be able to tap into spaces of freedom, joy, and rest by pushing our precious bodies and minds in abusive ways. To rest is to creatively respond to the grind culture's call to do more. It's the possibility of rest, reparations, resurrection, and repair that holds us like a warm, soft blanket. We don't have to have a complete answer to everything right now. We don't have to know everything. We don't have to be everything. We don't have to do everything. There is space for the unknown. There is space for curiosity and for mystery. There is space to just allow rest to settle and to answer the questions for us.
Berlin was divided by a wall. The Brandenburg Gate was a portal to nowhere. Heavy with guards, no one got through the no man's land. Then the wall fell and the gate opened up. Suddenly I could walk where I wanted. Turn left, turn right, straight ahead. It was in my hands. When I lived in Germany during my junior year of high school, I had a chance to travel to Berlin with other exchange students in my program. Now, this was before the wall fell, and I vividly remember when we went to see the Brandenburg Gate. There were a couple of other memorials right there as well, guarded by men with the first automatic rifles I'd ever seen in person. Not that I saw any of this up close. We weren't allowed to leave the bus, just drive past, slowly. The winter weather only heightened the bleakness of the scene. Now fast forward half a dozen years. The wall had come down, and I was back in Berlin to visit a friend who lived in what had been East Berlin. He was a university student, and rents were cheaper there. And while my friend went off to classes, I had a chance to walk around by myself and explore. And this time, though, I didn't have to worry about running into checkpoints or walls or soldiers with guns. I could turn in any direction I wanted. And as I turned one corner, suddenly before me was the Brandenburg Gate. And I could walk right up to it and through it and into what had been West Berlin without provoking the least bit of attention. And in that moment, as I understood freedom more viscerally than I ever had before, I also recognized my freedom to choose how I spend my time. Those decisions, made one by one, become the story of my life. What stories are you telling with your life? What are the choices that you're transforming into song? Or is your life more like a cacophony of busyness and obligations and to-do lists with little space for beauty or stillness? As we heard in the Time for All Ages, the rests in music are just as important as the notes. Otherwise, all you have is unorganized noise. When we tell our life story, we tend to live in the realm of the countable. And what I mean by that is you can notice it in the verbs that you use, which are definite. I did this. I went to this school. I had this job. I reached this stature or anniversary. And there's nothing wrong with being proud of things you've done, don't get me wrong. But so often those countable achievements become the only way we know how to tell our story. What about continuous verbs? Living, singing, dreaming, being. Rarely do we describe ourselves with phrases like, my heart is staying open despite trauma, or I'm surviving in a time of increasing authoritarianism, even though those things might actually be some of our greatest achievements. But continuous verbs take time. In her book, Rest is Resistance, Tricia Hersey makes the case for finding time for rest as a radical tool for pushing back against white supremacy, extractive capitalism, ableism, and other forms of oppression. She names the direct link between grind culture, the forces that push us to work constantly in pursuit of success, and slavery, during which her ancestors were forced to work brutally long hours, day after day after day. They were treated as machines rather than human beings with a divine right to rest. with all that enslaved people were able to create despite constant exhaustion. Can you even imagine the creativity that would have been unleashed had they been allowed to rest? Can you imagine the creativity that is still suppressed in those whose energy is diverted by racism, sexism, ableism, classism, anti-LGBT bias, and every other form of oppression? More importantly, can you feel how much has been lost? I think of a time when I was in a meeting with a brilliant colleague of mine named Dr. Glenn Thomas Rideout, who is both Black and gay. And as I looked at this friend, this brilliant man, I just kept thinking as he talked about an incident that had happened, how much of his brilliance gets diverted all the time throughout his life that this has happened. And I must admit, I don't know that I could quite imagine how brilliant he would be, because it's Glenn Thomas. But it broke my heart. It broke my heart. Hersey writes, "Capitalism was created on plantations. The roots of it are violence and theft. We as a culture gloss over this historical truth. But to dive into the cracks of this reality is where a profound part of your deprogramming from grind culture resides. To understand and meditate on this truth may place us all in a space of grief. We must grieve. Grieving is a sacred act, and one of the ways we can begin to reconnect with our bodies as we craft a rest practice. Perhaps our biggest impediment to rest is understanding and believing without shame that we are worthy of rest simply because we exist. Hersey notes, we don't have to earn rest. Rest is not a luxury, a privilege, or a bonus we must wait for once we are burned out. We must see our bodies as a miracle, she continues, and a place of reverence where existing in exhaustion is not normal or acceptable. The beauty of resting knows that we are blessed to have a body, to be chosen to be alive, to breathe, to make choices, and to proclaim that our bodies are our own. It's a deep practice in care. It is the beginning of a revolution, radical, and a resistance. Sleep deprivation is a major public health issue. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, about 1 in 3 adults in the United States reported not getting enough rest or sleep every day. Nearly 40% of adults report falling asleep during the day without meaning to at least once a month. Also, an estimated 50 to 70 million Americans have chronic or ongoing sleep disorders. Now, the implications for our bodies are significant and varied because sleep is the time when our bodies and minds heal. Not getting enough sleep puts you at higher risk for dementia, heart disease, high blood pressure, depression, anxiety, memory issues, diabetes, colorectal cancer, a weakened immune system, high stress levels, not to mention irritability, forgetfulness, fuzzy thinking, poor balance, and even the chance of catching a cold. I'm really cheery today, aren't I? But lack of sleep doesn't just affect us individually. There are 6,000 fatal car crashes every year caused by drowsy driving. Yet still, our society exalts productivity at all cost, at any cost, really. As Hersey puts it, Since birth, we are slowly indoctrinated into the cult of urgency. I love that phrase, the cult of urgency and disconnection via white supremacy culture. You can see it happen in congregations, which often operate under what I call false urgency. I mean, do we really need to interrupt someone's summer vacation to find out whether they've drafted a policy about when to cancel Sunday services due to snow? Or can't the discussion about the color of the table runner wait until next week? Except for the building being on fire or someone bleeding profusely, very few things in congregational life qualify as truly urgent. Heck, even when someone dies in the middle of the night, they'll still be dead the next morning and the family will still be in mourning. For Hersey, sleep deprivation is not only a public health issue, but also a spiritual issue. She writes, "It is a spiritual issue for a few reasons. We've been trained to believe that everything we accomplish is because of our own pushing alone. Much of our resistance to rest, sleep, and slowing down is an ego problem. You believe you can and must do it all because of our obsession with individualism and our disconnection to spirituality. Nothing we accomplish in life is totally free of the influence of spirit and community. We do nothing alone." Urgency is also a myth that preys upon your fears about the future, she notes. As we heard in the reading, it's easy to believe that with empire dealing death all around us, we can't afford to take breaks and breathe and dream. Hersey argues, though, that we can't afford not to. How can we imagine a liberated world from a burned out, quick-paced, exhausted state? It's not possible. And that's the scam of it all. In her book, Black Liturgies, Cole Arthur Riley acknowledges the difficulty of resisting grind culture. She writes, "There's a reason you can't bring yourself to close the laptop, to walk away from your work, to close your eyes. How terrifying might rest appear to a woman who is working 3 jobs to pay her rent? To those who fear homelessness or hunger or punishment if they do not produce for these toxic systems. We belong to a society that claims ownership over our bodies, that across generations has used our bodies for its own needs, its own ends, Our petitions for rest cannot be grounded in self-help wellness talks that don't recognize this reality." Importantly, though, the goal of the rest movement isn't about getting enough sleep just so we can go out and be productive. Rest is its own end and the means through which we will thrive. Rest is central to our liberation. Hersey notes that we will be unraveling from our sleep deprivation and socialization around rest for the remainder of our days. This is a blessing. At first, I was surprised that she called it a blessing, that it will take a lifetime to shed the layers of programming that have warped us into the shape of grind culture. But then I understood the wisdom there. Making haste to rest doesn't make sense any more than it does to stress out about having fun. We'll never be free of systems of oppression if we continue to uphold them in our quest for liberation. Womanist theologian Emily Towns affirmed the ongoing nature of this work when she wrote, "An important distinction must be made. Liberation and freedom are not the same. Liberation is a process. Freedom is a temporary state of being. Liberation is dynamic. It never ends. In other words, it's one of those continuous verbs. One of the things we're deprived of through grind culture is ready access to our imaginations. For example, how often do you allow yourself to daydream? You certainly squash it in children early on. Yet Hersey describes daydreaming as a form of rest that feels like the opening of your heart doing what it's supposed to do. It feels like my granny's soft arms while she rubs my head, a blanket of care swaddling you tightly, a comforting now. And that comforting now is a portal to thriving in this moment, rather than just surviving or waiting for some promised yet elusive future. Hersey asks a critical question. What information is available to us when we are in a rested state that we are missing? What information is available to us when we are in a rested state that we are missing? I mean, what futures can we not even picture because our eyes are blurry and our minds foggy? According to author Bell Hooks, imagination is one of the most powerful modes of resistance that oppressed and exploited folks can and do use. By giving ourselves time to dream and feel into new ways of being that recognize our inherent worth, we loosen the hold that white supremacy culture has on us. We disrupt cycles of trauma. We reassert our control over our bodies. We open up energy for new ideas and new ways of being. When we rest, we stop to declare, as Hersey puts it, that there is enough and I have done enough. So how exactly do we go about resting? How do we find those corners of our day when we can close our eyes or pay attention to our breathing? It's a natural question. But remember that part about this being a lifelong process? Hersey points out that there's no shortcut. You must experience rest, she says. The praxis is rest. You will have to rest to believe in this message. You won't be able to skip steps and rush the dreaming that it will take to be liberated from grind culture. This is why I love rest as a liberation practice. It gets to the heart of the matter. Mary Oliver reminds us to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. And our soft animal bodies need sleep, need rest, need dreams. Are you willing to believe that you're worthy of rest? Are you, whether or not your task list is complete? What would it mean if you were? If we all were? What kind of choices might we make? What kind of stories would our lives tell then? I'll let Tricia Hersey's words offer you a final blessing. Rest is a portal. Silence is a pillow. Sabbath, our lifeline. Pausing, our compass. Go get your healing. Be disruptive. Push back. Slow down. Take a nap. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be. Please rise in body or spirit as we join in singing our closing hymn, number 352, Find a Stillness, in the Gray Hymnal. Let us speak together our unison benediction in the order of service or to the description online. Together, let us say, engage with the world in peace, have courage, hold on to what is good, return to no person evil for evil, strengthen the faint-hearted, support the weak, help the suffering, honor all beings. Please be seated and remain for our postlude.
And I don't pay no mind to